The gentleman from Fairfax, Mr. Sullivan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for a point of personal privilege.
The gentleman has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker and ladies and gentlemen of the House, this morning there was a very important hearing before the Privileges and Elections Constitutional Committee. I want to commend Chairman Minshew and the other members of the subcommittee. The hearing was respectful, it was thoughtful, and it was a conversation on several crucial and sometimes controversial issues. I want to talk briefly this morning, Mr. Speaker, about one of those issues, an issue that affects all of us and in which this body plays a unique role: redistricting. Redistricting is, or at least should be, a bipartisan issue. There was a wide spectrum of political views represented at the hearing this morning. And if bipartisanship means both parties like it, well, both parties have used the redistricting process to their benefit for many years. But just because gerrymandering has been around a long time, there's no reason to ignore it or accept it. And Virginians surely are not ignoring it, and they are no longer willing to accept it. In fact, the issue has become increasingly a part of the public's consciousness and of our public debate. I have no doubt that that is in large part due to the fine work of One Virginia 2021, whom was introduced to this body just a moment ago. That organization has been doing a terrific bipartisan job of focusing attention on redistricting as an issue and on the negative effect it has on our politics. I'm guessing most of us in this body have heard from One Virginia 2021 and from lots of constituents who are eager to see the General Assembly end partisan gerrymandering. Mr. Speaker, I'm not going to use this body's time this morning to argue the merits of reforming the redistricting process, though I am convinced that the arguments in favor of reform are compelling. But Virginians want and deserve a debate on this issue on this floor. Too often, actually check that, every time this issue has been raised by legislators on both sides of this aisle, bills proposing redistricting reform die quick, quiet, and unrecorded deaths in subcommittee, as have, by the way, all of the many bills that have come to us from the Senate on redistricting reform. Last week, Mr. Speaker, the gentleman from Charlottesville wrote you a letter urging that you refer several bills seeking redistricting reform through the Rules Committee so that they could be sent directly to the floor without recommendation for a debate and a vote here on the House floor. Either through that route or through Chairman Minshew's subcommittee, it is my sincere hope that we can move those bills to the House floor for debate. Mr. Speaker, we all know that there are several pieces of litigation pending which may affect this debate. I certainly do. One Virginia 2021's lawsuit challenges several House and Senate districts held by both Republicans and Democrats, and my district is one of them. But none of that pending litigation should be reason to delay debating voting on this issue. If nothing else, these proposed constitutional amendments will require a second vote next year by a new General Assembly, by which time the litigation likely will have been resolved. We should not and cannot wait. This is the year, Mr. Speaker. We should debate and vote on this issue now so we can get this issue before the voters of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Mr. Speaker, we want a debate and vote on the floor. More importantly, Virginians want a debate and a vote on this floor. They want to know where their representatives stand on this issue, which is so vital to our democracy. Let's vote on this, Mr. Speaker. Let's vote. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.